Hey, fellow Chilluminauts, I know you're expecting MK Ultra Part 2 right now, and we are going to be recording it in a few hours, actually. But because of some scheduling issues, we weren't able to get the episode up in time for this week. So MK Ultra Part 2 will be next weekend, right on time, should be out on Monday night like the past few weeks. It's my fault that I just had a thing pop up on the day we're supposed to record, and then we rescheduled for the next day. And then I had my mother call me, and I just went to go see my mom and take care of some family stuff that just needed to be taken care of. So we ended up having to push the recording back a couple of days, and I just want to make sure you guys get your episode out either way. So here's the next episode compilation, not compilation, for you all. Before we get going in today's episode, I just want to thank our continued sponsor, Talkspace. They've been with us for a while now, and Talkspace has been great for me and my mental health, as well as being a great supporter of Chilluminati. And 2020 is almost over, and yet it still feels like it never ends. So if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, then you're just being human. There's a whole lot to be anxious about with the 24/7 news cycle, the constant pandemic news, politics, even though the election is over, still completely causing chaos, and now the added layer of the holidays. We need to take care of our mental health and work through our emotions with a licensed therapist. And with Talkspace, you can sign up online or download the app and start therapy the same day with a licensed therapist for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy. Depending on the plan you choose, you can message and schedule live video sessions with your therapist, and you'll pay the same amount every month, so it's just easy to budget. So it's also a good thing that Talkspace is a fraction of the cost of in-person therapy. Instead of waiting for an appointment, you can send unlimited messages to your therapist 24/7, and they'll engage with you daily 5 days a week. And now Talkspace covers 40 million people for online therapy through their insurance or employer. So find out if you're eligible right now at Talkspace.com/insurance. As a listener of this podcast, you get $100 off your first month with Talkspace. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com or download the Talkspace app. Make sure you use the code CHILL to get $100 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's code CHILL, CHILL, at Talkspace.com. Hello, my little Chilluminati.
No.
It worked for this one, Jesse.
It's the way you're saying it.
Now, granted, it's technically Minisode like episode like 24, but it follows episode 69.
This is main Chilluminati. This is main Chilluminati episode and chill.
It's just the way you're saying things. It's uncomfortable.
With love?
Chill
love
minis.
is. I don't know that love is what I'd say.
I feel loved.
Thank you.
I feel loved.
Alex feels loved, then I'm doing my job.
Hello there. No, that's not.
See,
When
I feel loved already.
Wake up in the morning. That's what I want to hear in my ears.
Right.
Well,
Whispered to me.
Hello there.
From behind my neck. All right.
What?
This is the mini version of episode 69. It's still going to have a weird energy. We're still here. This is probably going to air in like December on Christmas Day or some shit, but sorry about that.
for everybody else.
Yeah.
Alex, take it away. You want to be the last one, unless you want to be like the grand finale.
Oh yeah, it's fine. I just found a story that has to do with sex. That's all it is.
Bring it on.
This is from the mirror.co.uk. Here's the headline: Sex cult led by a 77-year-old man known only as the Doctor uncovered in Italy.
Perfect. The Doctor is in.
This sex cult is run by a man called the Doctor. Like I just said, it is raided by the police. This was in July. They had a headquarters in Novara near the city of Milan. He is accused of running the unnamed group. He allegedly subjected young women and minors to sexual acts over the course of 30 years. The cult has a pyramid structure with the most loyal followers working right underneath the Doctor.
That's the only way to make a cult work.
Yeah.
It has to be pyramid. Top down always.
It has all the classic things. They venerate their leader like a god. They did his bidding under threat of social isolation. The classic
Does
stuff.
he have a doomsday? Does he have a doomsday? Do we know?
No, I don't think he has a doomsday. It's more of like a sex thing. So the group was run under a form of like Celtic style mysticism where women are like persuaded to submit to sexual abuse. And the idea is that if you have sex with this guy, it will light your inner fire, and that is like what you need to get your shit done. Those in the inner circle were trained in psychology and allegedly helped to identify new women who were like vulnerable to indoctrination.
Ugh.
And, when you sign up, you're asked to like abandon your friends and family. The Doctor is said to have wielded enormous power over his members, deciding who did what work and providing some women with houses. So he's seen as like a benevolent guy to the people in the cult, that kind of image that he's trying to cultivate for himself. He also has a craft shop, a publishing house, 2 dance schools that are all run by the cult.
Is incredibly successful.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just like something they uncovered in July, and it's from all over the world. These people are coming into this cult through those different ways. And one alleged victim told the police he decides everything, who you can attend, where you work. He chooses which girl should entertain him if you can or cannot go to our fairy places. Don't know what a fairy place is, but it doesn't seem like it's not a sex thing. There's pictures, videos of certain members of the cult dancing topless in like sarongs or saris or something like that.
Okay.
She added that members were not allowed to say the Doctor's name. That's why they call him the Doctor. And they haven't said if anybody's been arrested or how many people were involved, but they had been investigating this group for 2 entire fucking years before they made their move. So
damn,
pretty big deal.
The fact that he has like I said, 2 dance studios and whatnot, and
a
just like
publishing
all
house.
This,
That's the crazy thing.
Publishing house. My God.
I'm sure it's not like what I'm imagining, but I'm
glad they at least found him out and can hopefully bring him down. And no more of that.
I get that.
I'm gonna unsexify it a little bit here.
Okay. I had a sexy thing.
Oh, okay. No, I will wrap up the chill mini with less sexy thing.
Good.
Jesse,
All
take
right.
us away with some sexiness.
Well, as you know, you can trust nothing on the internet. It is all lies, especially when it comes to social media.
Episode 69 of the Chilluminati podcast.
I mean, yes. But in a hilarious twist, it was revealed this week. This guy, I guess, was on like a set scout thing, and it was revealed
Like a location deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
That there are studios that rent out spaces to influencers to take photos at. And so
Like houses and warehouses and shit?
all sorts of stuff. Yes. And how most of the influencers you see when they talk about their amazing vacation or the amazing house they're in or all these different things, it's all BS and them just
Movie magic?
Yes.
What, are
And
you
so
telling
it was,
what? No,
it was
way.
revealed this week in another great example that a lot of influencers who are taking photos themselves in private airplanes are in fact on the set of a studio that has built a private airplane interior indoors. And this guy posted the photos, and because he posted the photos, now everyone is
People can go back and
retroactively
match?
going back and seeing what influencers posted photos of the exact same set. And it turns out many have. Many
That's incredible.
have. And
Everybody's
so now-
Bow Wow in the end.
yeah, now everyone is putting all of them on blast as like, you're so fake. Basically, because like everything on the internet, it is all fake and all staged and all of it totally BS. And so all these photos now that are appearing on the internet of like gorgeous women and like lingerie, like I'm on my private jet and stuff, are actually literally just photo shoots. Just photo shoots on a set in Hollywood.
incredible.
Just think
because
about
it's
that,
all
you
fake.
fucking asshole. Just think about that. I could probably afford that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like-
Thanks to you over at Patreon.
Yeah, well, I mean, just think about that. Like, think about what you imagine most influencers to be. Even us, right? Like somebody like me or Mathis or Jesse Cox. You see us on your TV every day. You think that we're fucking millionaires or some shit, right?
We're so rich, dude.
But that's
The
what it
three
is.
of
That's
us, I don't think anyone thinks the three of us are.
dude. People tell me
come
that
on,
shit.
man.
People tell me that shit all the time when they're arguing
can-
with me about politics on Twitter. They're
I
like,
can
"You with all your
DoorDash-
fucking YouTube money." I'm like, "You don't know what fucking YouTube money is."
I
you
want,
piece of
I, want
shit."
someone, I want someone to take Alex's you with all your YouTube money and just clip you currently in your bedroom.
Yeah,
That's what I'm fucking
screenshot of
saying.
you in your bedroom right now.
Here's like my bookshelf from when I was fucking 8 years old with my comic books on it, and here's my like dirty bed. Like I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know, dude. We're living a lavish lifestyle out here, dude.
Yes, it is really funny to see that how much it's exploded. I think it was on Reddit. But you probably
YouTubers?
can look it up. It was on the front page, but yeah, they discovered this whole set. It's very similar to you know those art installations that open up. It's a huge
Like the ice
LA
cream
thing.
museum?
Yeah, a huge LA thing where people go, and the whole point is to take photos for your Instagram or whatever. There are now spaces in LA that are designed to be rented out for Instagram photography. We even shot, if you've seen the episode of Control we did for
The Office?
Yeah, the episode of Control that we shot for Gentleman's Gaming Club, we rented out a space, and in that space there was a hospital set, there was an office set, there was a schoolroom set, there was a military yard. There was all these different sets just pre-built. And you just go there and they're like, all right, so what set do you need? Okay, this one will give you the whole floor for X number of dollars, and you can have it all day and do whatever you want. And so we used the entire floor to film.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an LA thing. That's not out this way at all.
And so and then they were telling me that a lot of movie studios, they use that rather than try to go on location and try to, all right, we're gonna go to an office building. Instead, they'll just rent a complex that has 15 sets in it, and they'll just like use pieces like corners of each set. And so when we shot, we used, camera angles to hide everything, and it made it look like there were 4 rooms, but it was really just 4 sets in one space.
If YouTubers just acted as rich as they actually were, maybe so many people wouldn't want to be fucking YouTubers.
Well, it's all about showing off and, faking it till you make it and pretending that you're important,
How many conventions have you gone to that are like the how to YouTube panel? And then I
was on one. Oh my God. I was on one of those panels, and John, God, I miss him, saved that panel super hard. Went to this. It was like way back in the day. Long story short, me and 2 other people that were like in the handful of thousands on YouTube. They started a panel, invited me on as a friend. I was like, sure, what's the panel about? And they're like, oh, it's called, doing YouTube from hobby to profession. And they were all doing other jobs and YouTube was still their hobby. And I was the only one that had like any way to do it. And then we get there, one of them drops out and I was just bitching about it to John. And John's like, what time is it at? I'll be there. But he was just like showed up and he took over the panel. It was one of those where they asked questions like, how do you become a professional YouTuber?
I literally,
and each one of them was like trying to figure out the secret, but just asking the question slightly differently.
I literally have to sit there while kids are sitting there with their parents and be like, do not do this job. I'm poorer than your parents. I'm not doing well. You don't want to do it. It's pure luck. I mean, it's skill if you get lucky, but like you got to get lucky. Sorry to dash your dreams. Please do not take this job. It's not a real job. Goodbye. Like that's the reality. That's the reality.
Yep. So we are going to continue to unsexify this Minisode here real quick.
That is,
was there more to that, Jesse?
Wait, what's the fucking guy's name? I gotta see
what
this.
happened?
Who? What do you mean for me?
Who was the guy who posted these pictures?
I'm going to go to Reddit right now and try to find you that.
Oh my God. I want that.
I don't see the guy. Oh, there's a new version of it. Look, I'll send it to you right now. This is posted under the R mildly infuriating tag. This is brand new. Here you go. Here's another version of it. It has been circulating since yesterday. This again is if you click through the photos, it shows one woman, then another woman, and then this is the set.
That's incredible.
And literally, one angle of the set is just like a shitty couch and like a door to it.
I love it. Oh my God.
It's so, man. Yeah.
Who else is catching flights, not feelings this Valentine's Day? That's incredible.
The crazy part is,
oh my God, the fucking door, dude.
Yeah.
Is this the movie set they used in the Amazon movie with the Lawrence brothers that just came out?
I'm letting you know it's quite possible. What's even funnier is that the photo of the Who Else is Catching Flights Not Feelings, 277,000 likes on that.
Oh yeah. It worked. It worked.
Yeah, what are you fucking liking? What are you liking?
A girl in lingerie sitting on a chair.
What's crazy about it, what's even crazier about it is, let me ask you a question when you look at this photo, gentlemen. Just think
As
about
someone
it.
who's traveled?
Just in general, just think about this. Catching flights, not feelings. I get the pun, but who is traveling in this manner? Let alone sprinkling rose petals all over the This is not how anyone has ever traveled.
Like
no
some
one travels
Dubai
this way.
Billionaire. Yeah, like only.
Yeah. She's wearing like knee-high stockings and like lingerie.
No one has
and rose
ever
petals.
traveled this way. It doesn't. No one's in their photo.
No, but you know what? I kind of want to now.
I want to see you in lingerie too. All I'm saying is,
I'd rock it.
Be a little critical of things you see on the internet, and don't trust
a lot
people.
Critical, maybe.
Of most people are full of it and only showing you parts of a full story. So that's my lesson to you.
My lesson's different.
Oh boy,
France horse mutilations.
What?
Police
Just kidding.
happening over France right now. This is true. They had a suspect, but they ended up releasing him because his alibi was on point and they don't know what's going on. This comes from BBC.com from September 8th. French police have released a suspect detained during an investigation into a series of horse mutilations across the country in recent months. Basically, what's happening out there is there are a bunch of horses that are being killed. Their genitals are being removed and they're being mutilated in some way. Body parts cut off and killed. They thought they had a guy, a 50-year-old, they believed who was the one that did it. They had like a sketch of this guy. And unfortunately for them, or maybe fortunately for the man, he was not it. Police do not know why the horses are being targeted. They also do not know whether it is the work of one person or if initial attacks have inspired copycat horse killings. The suspect was detained on Monday morning in the town of Namsheim near the German border, but was released hours later after his alibi was confirmed by police. Analysis of his mobile phone records also indicate he was not in the Yonne area where the horses were being killed at the time of the 24th of August attack. That's right. The aliens, ladies and gentlemen, have moved over to the horses.
No.
Look, in France, you got to class it up a little bit. You got to have a nicer cheese.
That's
You got to
what
have
I'm
a
saying.
nicer wine, and you move away from beef, and you try, you try things that you never tried before.
It's been happening all year. Dozens of horses have been killed and maimed. They cannot figure out who it is, why it's being done. And the only evidence that they have had so far, at least sighting so far, is what they consider lamp lights out in the meadow at like 1 a.m. Little bobbing lamp lights that they see people, they assume are people trying to murder the horses. It's been happening all year round and they can't figure it out. Aliens.
That is fucking crazy.
That's it. Had to bring the sexy down a little bit.
It's a little.
At
I
your
mean,
mini.
if you're an alien, it's sexy, right?
I mean, well, they're taking the genitals, right? It fits.
Yeah, it fits.
The genitals are being removed for the horse. It fits post 69, that post coital bliss feeling.
You love it. You love to
And
see it.
you get brought back to reality.
Some people say this podcast is a little too gross for their tastes, and I say pusha.
Exactly. Pshaw, indeed.
Who says
Thanks for
this?
listening, everybody.
Are they going to say
Also,
it now?
Trump's tax returns just dropped, so go check those out. Peace out.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Haha. That's right, Alex and or Jesse. Hang on a moment while I take our audience over here and speak with them just for a minute and tell them thank you for Keeps for sponsoring this video. Okay, we're away. Hey, guys, I know. Listen, I know 2 out of 3 guys are going to be experiencing some form of male pattern baldness by the time we all hit 35. The best way to prevent hair loss is to get ahead of the game and take care of it before all the hair's gone. Before, you used to have to go to the doctor's office for your hair loss prescription, but now, thanks to Keeps, you can visit a doctor online and get hair loss medication delivered right to your home. They make it easy and deliver your medication every 3 months, so you can say goodbye to pharmacy checkout lines and awkward doctor visits. Keeps also offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there. You may have tried them before, but probably never for this price. Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors, and more than 100,000 men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention medication. Keeps treatment started at just $10 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get your first month for free. If you're ready to take action in your own hands and take your own hair and put it back onto your scalp, go to keeps.com/chill to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's KEEPS.com/chill. Keeps.com/chill. All right, let's go rejoin the boys. Hello, my little chill minis.
Stop.
Hello,
No.
Chilluminauts.
You could have just said
Chilly
hello. You didn't have to lean
No,
into the
man.
microphone.
What do you think about Chili Billies?
Chili Billies?
Chili Billies.
I think people like Chilluminauts,
My
and
name
honestly, I'm
is
with them.
Chilly Willy. I'm frozen through and through. Remember that penguin?
Yes. Yeah, the little penguin with a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
No.
him. He makes me want to eat ice cream.
Ooh.
Or
What
wasn't
kind
he-
of ice cream?
I don't know, like a little, like one of those kind where you bite it and it like cracks like a Magnum bar.
Klondike?
Yeah. I don't. Does he have something to do with some type of frozen meal, or is there just another
mean, there
penguin?
I
was
think you're thinking of
Penguin
kids
Pops.
cuisine.
Yeah, kids cuisine. It's not.
Oh,
it's not
kids'
Chili
cuisine.
Willy.
No, that's just another penguin.
It's just another
Yeah, he's got
penguin.
like the little hat on.
yeah,
That's Frozen Fred or some nonsense.
Frozen
Fred.
Fred. Kid cuisine.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's get to the
You
bottom
gotta
of
have
this.
time to look it up. I hope you all had a great time. This is you're gonna get a double dose of minisodes today. We love you. I don't know. All I know of what Alex might have is he watched the video and he said, "Ooh, that's spooky."
It spooked me. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
that
it.
type
And
of
I don't know if
spook-
Jesse brought anything either.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I don't know
Okay,
what
you
that
guys need to
means.
look up the kid cuisine penguin because he looks fucking weird, dude.
He
was
like get a
talking to-
redesign.
To everyone in general, he just looks fucking weird. I don't know. I don't like him.
Kid cuisine penguin.
He looks a little
Oh, he's
emaciated.
like all.
He looks a little emaciated.
Yeah, that's a different design, I think.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Daffy Duck.
Yeah, a little bit. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's actually kind of spooky.
Yeah, but it's not as spooky as my story this week.
Yeah, what'd you bring to us today,
Yeah.
Alex?
So, have you guys heard of the Netflix documentary that just came out recently, American Murder: The Family Next Door?
No.
No.
It's like this like really awful like story. This guy strangled his wife who was pregnant. He like killed his 2 like young kids, hid their bodies in an oil drum, buried his wife. It's like totally terrible murder, right? But some dude was watching the actual documentary and this
I thought you were
guy
gonna say some dude watched the actual murder happen, and
No.
I was like,
Well,
"What?"
it's a pretty weird story. So there is a scene early in the movie where there's like a body cam. I haven't seen this, by the way. I haven't seen the documentary. I've just seen this news story, so I don't know whether it's a good doc or not. But there is a scene where they're like at this woman's house, the missing woman, and it's the husband who like did all this, right? And he's talking to the cops, and the cops have body cameras on. Okay. And so this is after he's already done all his killing.
Yep.
And I just want you to look at 33 seconds in this video right here. So, give yourself a little lead time on it. Go to, 30 seconds or so.
All right.
And then you tell me what you see, because I think that looks pretty damn good. And you guys can look and I, I'll put the link in the subreddit if you guys want to see it.
What am I looking for here?
At 33 seconds, there is a shot where you almost see into this other room where there's...
Yeah, with the kid?
Yes, except if you remember what I just said...
Yeah, the kid's supposed to be dead.
The kids are dead at this point.
Oh, that's creepy. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be dead. They are dead.
Yeah, the kids are dead. They're dead in an oil drum somewhere else right now.
It's moving, though.
Yeah,
Man,
it is.
I don't know. So I'm looking at it. I paused at 34 seconds.
Yeah.
And it looks like, I guess you could say that is a young girl with a pink
to me
top.
it looks very much more like a little girl than most things like this, I would say.
Sure, I mean, because it has like legs. It looks like it has legs and stuff. Also, it could just be like a weird trick of the light.
It's true. But here's another clip. If you go to this clip at the 10-second mark, you can hear a child laughing.
Oh God.
In this one.
I'm waiting for it.
And this was like a viral thing on YouTube.
Go back before you go to this one.
Yeah.
Go back to the previous video.
Yeah.
And go to 40 seconds and just click play and only watch the door. You'll see that there's literally a person in there moving back and forth.
Oh yeah, somebody around the corner. They peek around the corner.
There's literally a person there.
Dude.
At 48 seconds, somebody peeks around the corner.
Yeah, I totally see it.
But I feel like that's actually literally a person who was just asked not to be in the shot.
That's a small person.
That's a like, little person. Yeah, it's definitely
they're
a kid.
lower than the light switch. You can see the light switch on the wall.
Yeah, it's definitely like
a young girl. Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that clip that has those things in it, and you can go and you can look at this other clip, and you can hear this kid laugh at 10 seconds. But there is some confusion. It might actually
just be a kid, though.
Right. And there is a woman who is the neighbor who does have a kid. But it's not clear whether or not her kid is present at this house. But they're neighbors, so who knows? Huh. But it seems weird that while they're on a crime scene, that this woman would let her kid go in and like play with the kid's toys and stuff like that. Because, that's just not, I don't know. It's not appropriate to bring your kid to a missing person's house.
I mean, what are you going to do, though? Leave your kid at home?
So apparently the woman in the video who was talking to the cop is the neighbor.
Yeah. The woman in green.
I guess
the woman in green is the neighbor, and it's possible that it's her kid, but it just is. I don't know.
Creepy.
She lives right next door. It's not that crazy to leave your kid. Like,
it's creepy.
Yeah. I think like it's a creepy little story. It's worth giving a look. And if you guys want to
go watch this video for sure.
Yeah. If you guys want to go take a look at this, I will post these links in the Chilluminati subreddit. And today I should let you know, because probably a lot of you are going to be listening to this on the other side after the Civil War starts. We're going to be, so this is going to be Sunday, October 11th. So if you go back and you look on Sunday, October 11th, you will see my links for these videos.
There you go.
And I hope you guys are all staying safe out there.
Please do. Please be safe. I'm going to do something a little different for the minis, because we get a lot more stories than we can get through. Even when we do reader stories, and I'm trying to get through like some good ones, like there's just too many good ones for us to get through. So
I decided why not on the minisodes drop like one story every so often.
I dig it.
That's what we're going to do. So that's what we're going to do for this one. And this one I got in our email a couple days ago, actually. And I read it and it came with a picture. The picture I'm not going to share with publicly because it's a house, somebody's house.
Will you link it?
Will
you link it to me so I can see?
Yeah, I'll send you the picture and whatnot. The after. But let me read this. This is simply called My Men in Black Experience from 2018.
Okay.
I love the story. I am a skeptic by heart, but during the summer and fall of 2018, I saw unexplainable phenomena happen in the town that I live in, Tuttle, Oklahoma. To preface this, I do not do drugs, nor was I doing drugs while these events happened. It all started around May, and I would go for walks up and down my driveway at night, as it was rather cool outside. I did these walks like clockwork. I would start around 8 p.m. when the sun had just set, and the horizon was a dark blue. Because I live in the country, the stars are very vibrant and the sky is very dark, which makes seeing lights moving in the sky very easy to point towards airplanes, helicopters, or the satellites that you see. You know, when those little,
for sure,
looks like stars moving.
Yeah.
However, the lights I would see were clearly none of those in nature. My first walk, I saw a bright green streak flash through the sky at a very low altitude, and it was moving faster than any aircraft I have ever heard or seen. I listened to music on every walk, rocking some sick-ass earbuds with a nice deep bass boost to them. There was a loud crack, which I could hear despite me listening to music, and as I looked up, there was a bright green streak going from the east and heading west. A few hours later, the same green streak came again, this time going from the north and heading east. As a skeptic, I blew it off as an aircraft going to and from Tinker Air Force Base.
This is very classic UFO vibes to me, though.
Oh, yeah. Huge. And of course, them being in Oklahoma, it's kind of like the UFO band.
Right.
The only weird thing that happened other than the light was every time the crack would happen, my earbuds and phone would go haywire. Like there was a continuous feedback loop going through them.
Okay.
The next night, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Interference. It's interesting.
Yes, weird interference every time. The next night, the same thing happened. However, there were now two different streaks of color. A red streak came through the sky first, going south to north, immediately followed by a green streak going east to west like clockwork. Each time I would see a streak, there would be a loud crack similar to thunder or that of a distant explosion. The green streak repeated the same as the night before, east to west, then north to east. However, the red streak came back going west to east. This kept up for months leading up to the September of 2018, when a loud rumble happened right before one of my walks. It was said to be a small earthquake and was no big deal. I went to go for my walk, and after stepping outside, I noticed a glowing yellowish orange light in the distance. It was coming from a close neighbor who lives at least 50 to 100 acres of land away. Two military helicopters then fly by at a low altitude, almost as if surveying the area. My rational brain immediately jumped to that there was a fire. However, shit got real weird when two black Chevy Tahoes parked up in the roundabout in the neighborhood in front of my house.
Okay.
They sat there, headlights fixed on me the entire duration of my walk. After an hour, the light in the distance went out, similar to someone flipping a light switch. I took a photo right before the lights went out because, to be honest, the picture looked pretty cool for an Instagram post. It's attached in this email. So he took the picture of the lights that showed up before the cars rolled up. Right after, and well, I'll tell you what it looks like it's his house, and then behind it, there's like fog and it looks like almost smoke. And there's a great bright, like reddish orange light coming from somewhere over the horizon on like the ground. And it's clearly nighttime.
Love that.
Again, I'll send these over. So we took a photo of it. Right after taking a photo of the light, the door to one of the Tahoes opened and both of the bright lights from the cars came on. The man gets close enough for me to see a body, but not close enough to make out facial features. I could, however, tell that this man was completely bald and had a very pale complexion. He was wearing a black button-up shirt, a red tie, black slacks, and dress shoes. He asked me what I was doing out so late and why I was pacing up and down my driveway. I told him that I walked every night from 8 p.m. to roughly 10:30 to 11. His voice was very monotone and very stern. He then asked if I had seen anything pertaining to the light in the distance. I informed him that the light was glowing before I'd gone outside. He then stood for roughly a minute not saying anything. I assumed he might have been a police officer looking for information. However, his next question was, why did you take a photo of the light? I told him I post photos on Instagram of various landscapes and that the photo would look perfect on my page. He asked to see the photo, and I got defensive, telling him that I had not violated any laws as I was on my property and it is not illegal to take photos. He then repeated the question, in which I said I did not feel comfortable handing him my phone. He then said, "We know what you saw. If you mention this to anyone, we know where you live." Immediately, I turn around and run up my driveway, extremely fucking freaked out. I thought it was just a fire or some shit, but after that, my mind started racing. The two SUVs sat in the neighborhood watching my house until roughly midnight. I skipped my walks for about a week and a half. The entirety of the time, minus one day, an SUV would park in the neighborhood in front of me from 8 p.m. to midnight every day watching my house. The day before I went for my walk, the car did not park in the neighborhood. I assumed that whatever happened was done with and decided to go for a walk. That night, I took my walk, the same thing as the night that I went for my walk when whatever happened again. Two black Chevy Tahoes parked in my neighborhood watching me. I immediately start panicking, but right as I do, a loud crack and a green light flashes through the sky, followed by the red.
Jesus.
As I look back down, the car door opens and a different man approaches me, telling me that what I saw the week prior was a fire that happened in a nearby field. This man, also bald in a black suit with a blue tie, monotone, but his voice was slightly softer. He then said that the lights I was seeing in the sky were nothing more than airplanes. The thing that weirded me out was that he said my full name, first, middle, and last, and said, "No one will ever believe you if you talk. We're done. Have a pleasant evening." He walked back to the SUV and they left. Since then, I quit going for my nightly walks. I know this sounds far-fetched, but that shit was genuinely creepy as fuck. I don't give a fuck about fame and genuinely don't care if people believe me or not. This shit was just too weird not to share. I did not call the police for this, mainly because I thought the men I spoke with were cops to begin with. If you guys can do more research and see if anyone else out there reported shit like this, or if there were any accounts of strange lights in the sky during the summer or fall of 2018, I would really appreciate it. I ultimately just want clarity on what the fuck happened. Thank you for your time.
That is some wild shit right there.
Yes, sir. And that is the story. But Jesse, you believe in Men in Black now?
No, but it was a good story. Admittedly, fun story. Do I believe? Not at all.
Hearing from
All
somebody
right.
who like has something happen to them is always a little bit more believable to me, but it's,
Let me send off the pictures here. I'm just going to forward this email over to your emails and you'll see the pictures. There we go. And there we go.
okay.
Sent.
Let's give it a look. Let's see what's going on here.
He has two pictures there of the lights that he could see behind his house and a picture of the trail, his driveway that he walked up and down.
I'm not getting this email from you.
It's going to be from the Chilluminati pod email.
Okay.
If that doesn't
Oh
work,
yeah,
I
no,
will
it's
just
here. No, it's here. It's here.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, my computer's just dumb. Okay.
So if you like, just again, I was explaining it. It just looks like a fire behind a house, like a dim glow, a bright glow of like orange and red.
You want to know something creepy?
Yeah, I do.
There's no images attached to this email.
Okay, well,
I
I'm
think
just
you
gonna have
sent
to
it
see.
without attaching the images.
I'm an idiot. That's fine. I'll just download
It
it.
makes
and
it
send
even
to you.
I thought it
more
was like
creepy.
I thought it was like the government took them away and deleted them before they got to me.
I kind of prefer that, but because then that would make me it even more real. And then we know we have something genuine on our hands. All right, I'm just going to manually attach these.
I
Boom,
will
boom.
say also that it's good. Like it bodes well for a story when the person who tells the story is not trying to put their name out there. And in this case, this person obviously wants to remain anonymous.
Yep.
And you know, I think that's interesting. You know, I mean, I guess there is this like idea that you can start an urban legend or something like that. But like I when somebody's not trying to get famous off something, I kind of like tend to trust it a little more too.
Yeah. Agreed. Did you get the pictures?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I did. Wow, this is some dramatic shit. This looks like photo mode from Red Dead Redemption.
You can see why he put it. He said they're also on his Instagram still, like from when he took them.
But why would somebody come tell you that there was a fire in the next field over if it was a fire? You know what I mean?
Right. Just the whole encounter with the Men in Black is kind of typical Men in Black encounter, where they watch you, they demand to see what evidence you have, they stay vague, they don't identify who they're with, and then they threaten you or vaguely threaten you.
Yeah, it's wild shit.
Yeah, it's nuts. So that's it. That's our stories for this chill mini. Jesse, if you have one, you got one? Do you want to hold on to it to the next one, or do you want to give it now?
What? Whoa.
Okay, you got two. I didn't know.
Just because y'all be running long, thinking you running long. Okay, wow.
This is the benefit. No. Take it away, Jesse.
Just because my story doesn't involve spooks and specters doesn't mean wow.
Show us your non-spooks and specters.
Wow. Well, this is an important real story because it really happened. September 25th, 2020. 3 railroad workers in New York have been suspended for turning a storage room under New York's Grand Central Terminal into an unauthorized man cave.
Yo, these boys are my heroes.
With a television, a refrigerator, a microwave, a futon couch, and more, officials said Thursday. A Metropolitan...
You know what? These people don't get paid enough. Take it back. Take it back from the man, dude.
A Metropolitan Transport Authority investigation found that managers of the Metro North Railroad were unaware of the hideaway beneath track 114. Many New Yorkers fantasize about kicking back with the cold one and prime piece of Manhattan real estate, especially one close to good transportation, Inspector General Carolyn Pokorny said. But few would have the chutzpah to commandeer a secret room beneath Grand Central Terminal. 3 Metro employees, a wireman, a carpenter, and electrical foreman, which, by the way, sound like exactly the team to pull this off.
The guys, I think those are the guys that are in the bathtub in the nursery rhyme together.
Were suspended without pay pending disciplinary hearings. The investigation began after the MTA's office received an anonymous tip in February 2019, alleging, which, by the way, I like that it took a year for them to like find this.
That's great. They had a great year of kicking back and enjoying the pandemic.
Alleging that there was a man cave hidden somewhere under Grand Central, and when they found it, the reason why they couldn't find it is it had secret wooden cabinets designed to conceal the TV and futon and make it look like a normal storage room.
That's so good.
My favorite part of this whole thing is railroad officials said the space presented a fire hazard because rescue workers would have had a hard time accessing the unmapped room. So that's why they were able to shut it down. It's a technicality.
That's incredible. Oh, that's so good. I'm so mad I've never been able to do something like that. The amount of times I've fantasized about hiding away somewhere and just turning it into my own private little hangout or suite.
Did you see that video that was going around that was like some construction worker guy, and he did like a prank where he like put a t-shirt on a skeleton and wrote "Best Hide and Seek 2020" and like stuck it in a wall that he was building?
Oh, that's awesome. That's so good. Well, thank you, Jesse, and thank you, Alex, and thank you, Emailer, for that fantastic Men in Black story. We will be back next. Well, you'll get another one immediately. I was going to say next week, but this is a doubler for everybody on Patreon.
We owe you one.
We owe you one, so we'll be back in a few minutes or instantaneously for you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hello, my little Chilluminats.
They know what they know. You literally, we just were here.
You should do a Reader Stories ASMR.
Ooh, just right into the microphone like that, awkwardly paced.
And then I realized I was a number.
I was the result of an equation as I watched myself 3D print in front of me. Hello, everybody. We're back. We missed you. I don't know what Jesse's got. I don't know what Alex has got. Who wants to take it away for the first one?
I mean, mine's a little silly.
Mine is also a little silly.
The story I'm reading is called "I Had a Teenage Doppelganger."
I want to hear it.
Maybe we save the best for last.
All right, we'll do that.
That feels like a best for last scenario.
Okay, what do you got, Jesse?
Well, let me tell you, mine is it's a little bit of a setup.
Okay. A
former Austin Public Library employee has been arrested for stealing over $1.3 million. And you're probably saying to yourself, how did someone steal $1.3 million from a library? Well,
like a book? Late fees?
According to the investigation, Randall Whited kept countless spreadsheets detailing all of his dealings and was caught on security footage moving his wares throughout the library. Apparently, He was operating a smuggling ring within the library, ordering product online and selling it in the library's off hours. It was due to the library's poor practices and procedures that he wasn't caught for years, and its terrible record keeping that he was able to steal so much money from the library.
How is that stealing from the library? He's like
Well, here we
muscling
go.
in on the.
This is it. His scheme was to use the library's credit card and over a course of 12 years purchase $1.5 million worth of printer ink, then resell it cheaper than store prices at the library to locals. His final take was $1.3 million. He used the credit card also to make purchases like $15,000 in consumer electronics and video games. All these things,
brother.
he did all these things, and the library had no clue because he also ran the books, but he fudged everything. And so he ran the books on his own, like people who to sell to really well. So that's how they found him, because he had like loads of paperwork of who he was selling stuff to.
Why would he keep that? What would
This is me.
What would even be the point of keeping that?
So he could like resell to them. He would keep selling to them ink and toner because he could buy it with the library, not have any costs, and then sell it super cheap and make a profit. And so he did that, and he was booked and arrested on September 22nd.
Listen, gamers, keep your notes on your phone, okay?
Right. Listen, this sounds like me in another universe where I didn't get caught and fired for stealing.
This is
When I was
this,
a
You
kid.
didn't
sounds
steal
like
$1.3 million worth of toner and ink.
No, I was caught well before I got there.
this is like the kid who buys the big box of sour belts and then takes like 5 of them and then puts them in a baggie and sells them for $1 on the
Sells them to
playground.
you? Yeah.
This is
It's-
that
it's-
guy just grown up.
You call it like getting scammed. We call it capitalism here in America, baby. That's
Yeah, there's
no,
no
when you-
crimes here.
no crimes here, dude.
No crimes in
That's
America.
taxpayer money, $1.5 million in community funds.
Oh yeah? Then how come the president can do it? Meh, 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 meh.
It hurts because it's yeah. Anyway, partial heroes. These people. That's great. That's great. Criminals absolutely, definitely need to be thrown in jail. But also,
This
way to
is
go,
like
dudes.
Romeo and Juliet. You can't ask me to be mad at a gamer. You know what I mean?
I can be mad at gamers.
We
A lot of-
gamers have to stick together.
We have to rise up together.
Yeah, gamers.
Rise up. All right, Alex, what do you got?
So this is a New York Times story about. It's called "Quarantining with a Ghost." It's scary. And this is from May.
Oh,
So this
God.
was, a little bit scarier of a time, I would say. Now we are all sort of like accustomed to the horrible way that we have to live. But at this point, people were still not over the fact that we had to actually do this. And this guy, Adrian, lived with his partner in LA, and they had a couple days sheltering in place. No big deal. They were doing the stuff that we all do. Bake shitty bread that looks delicious. Try and do your job. Take a walk and like get really scared every time you walk past someone. All the basic stuff, some sort of house project, right?
Yeah,
then-
gotta have those.
But then one night, the doorknob began to rattle, quote, vigorously, to the point that he was in a different room and he was hearing the doorknob rattle, right? Which is like, that's a pretty loud rattle for a doorknob.
Yeah.
And in mid-April, Adrian was in bed and the window shade started shaking against the frame, even though the window was completely closed. So that's another like sort of piece of activity. His cats were not near the window. His cats can't reach the doorknobs. Nothing was behind it. There was no earthquake. He said he was hidden under the comforter, like afraid of it because he didn't understand what was happening. But his partner didn't notice anything. And now they can hear footsteps above them. And the funny thing about this article is that it's just framed as like being trapped with a ghost, which is really funny. But there's also a quote from him that said, "I'm a fairly rational person. I try to think, what are the reasonable, tangible things that could be causing this? But when I don't have those answers, I start to think maybe something else is going on." And I'm like, why did you even talk? Why did you even put that in the article? But yeah, basically now he's home. He's got his Zoom calls and all his weird shit, but also like shadow people and all this stuff. And the newspaper article actually says free floating full torso vaporous apparitions, which
Yo, that's like the holy grail of any haunting is to have fucking full ass apparitions, dude.
But that's also literally a quote from the Ghostbusters. So I don't know. But there's other people. So there's more stories here. There's like many stories of people who are stuck with ghosts during a haunting. But I mean, like, how many of these do you want to hear?
I never thought of that. Yeah, like this is a great idea.
Typically,
give me another. Hit me again.
Yeah, typically these things happen like in the middle of the night when you're not really paying attention, or while you're gone, you'll notice like something has moved. But
now you can't go
now
anywhere.
Everybody's stuck places. So now let's talk about Patrick from New York, who went to Western Mass for like an Airbnb cottage style experience. He woke up at 3 a.m. because he wanted some water. And when he walked into the kitchen, he said he saw a man in a World War II era military uniform and cap sitting at the table. And he just sort of like walked in and saw the guy there and like went on with what he was doing. And then he was like, wait, what the fuck? A ghost?
Yeah, wait,
like,
what? Why would you keep
it's
going?
almost like he didn't it's almost like he didn't really like realize what he was looking at for a second. Like, you know, when you're like, okay, yeah, here's I'm in my room.
Like when I saw Jesus when I woke up that one time?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just like when you're like, okay, here's like, yeah, my bed, my room, a dark figure behind the curtain, and this, oh wait, a dark figure behind the curtain. You know, like you gotta do like that double take. But when he did, and he like looked again, there was nothing there. It was almost like the double take erased it, and the ghost noticed that he was being seen, and he disappeared. But unfortunately, it's hard to believe this story because this guy hosts a podcast called True Crime Obsessed. So I don't know how, like, there is this other.
No. That means if we ever have any experience ever, no one will ever believe
I
us.
already don't believe you, so we're good.
No, that's not fair. You can't do that.
Here's the deal. All you have to do is really document it. No bullshit cell phone footage.
Okay, but what if it's like me outside on the porch with a sigil and I'm trying to perform a ritual by like jerking off onto the sigil and to make an alien UFO appear and my phone's nowhere nearby and then it works?
Just don't upload that video because I think we'll probably...
Well, we could go like RedTube or whatever.
That's... yeah, hell yeah,
that's how
RedTube.
Chaos Magic works, by the way.
Is RedTube still around?
We'll cover that one. I don't know.
That's a real mystery. What happened to RedTube? It's probably still around. I don't know.
It's gotta be.
But yeah, I mean, basically hauntings are up is the idea. Hauntings
Are hauntings up or are they just being noticed more?
That's what I'm saying. Like, haunting reports are like insanely up. 5 to 10 per week are being reported into like agencies that track that type of shit.
I think it's the same with UFO sightings. I think UFO sightings have skyrocketed since people have been stuck at home.
The interesting thing is that the same thing happened when everybody was hunkering down for Y2K. Everybody started seeing aliens. Everybody started having poltergeist activity. Everybody started seeing ghosts in their houses. So maybe it just has to do with the fact that we're all really fucking scared of the next couple weeks. But also,
Maybe.
you know, just at the time, you know, early pandemic, you know, it's obviously a heightened stress scenario. Like, you're not necessarily sure somebody's not going to, like, you know, start acting crazy in your neighborhood. You never know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I feel like maybe you're just on edge more. And so you're more willing to like notice things.
I was hoping. I was out the other night on my porch, as you do, enjoying a nice, relaxing, good night smoke sesh, and I heard something coming out of the woods, and it sounded like slow walking. It sounded like something bipedal. And I got I walked up halfway through. I didn't want to get too close, and I stayed on like the parking lot, and I could hear it getting closer and closer, and it literally sounded like footsteps. And as this, like, you could see movement. A goddamn waddling fat fucking skunk who was moving so fucking slowly, it sounded like footsteps came out, saw me, and like immediately got scared, and I just fucking booked it. I was like, I don't want to get sprayed. I'm good.
Have you ever been sprayed by a skunk?
No.
Terrible.
No, thank you. I'm good.
Tommy Pickles' grandma had to wash me off in borscht to get it off me.
Good old Tommy Pickles.
So I'm gonna talk about one more story really quick.
Give us a third.
Just because this is a funny one because like if you have a dog or you have something like that, like any kind of pet during the pandemic, and you're somebody who's suddenly home all the time, you might notice that your animal like starts to behave a little differently, right? So that's like a thing. But in this case, this woman, Janie, believes that she has been haunted since college by a ghost that she refers to as Matthew in order to encourage him to be Bible-y, according to her.
Please be holy if I just name you after one of the apostles.
According to her, that's literally what it is. And the main thing that this thing does is run up and down her stairs at night. And her husband is also very on board. He says it's not like a cat. It's like a person running loudly with no fear of being heard or anything like that. But apparently around the time that they started self-isolating, like halfway through March or so, the husband started using the guest bathroom more because like his wife started taking night shifts during the pandemic.
Oh, no, thank you.
And so she wanted to be able to sleep without him waking up and in the morning and like disturbing her while she's trying to get her like post like COVID frontline sleep. Right.
Yeah.
But turns out the ghost is like he's not able to handle the change in the scenario. So he says that 3 separate times while he was showering, he'd reach out for while he's in the shower and see that the hot water nozzle on the shower has been turned off. So the ghost is literally like water? Yeah, like trying to get him out of the bathroom by turning off his water.
That's kind of adorable.
I don't know why they're putting this whole story around it like it's you know, oh, he's upset because we're doing this, because literally all the story is that like 3 times the hot water was turned off, but like I don't know.
Hey, put whatever meaning behind it as you will, I guess.
And there's a couple more stories here, but I mean, they're all basically the same thing. I just think it's interesting to think about that, like we're all quarantined, and that means that if we're quarantined, we're stuck in here with our ghosts, which I think reminds me of a story.
My Nani. My Nani's one that passed recently. She hasn't haunted me yet. Thank you, Nani. I appreciate it.
Very, very chill.
She was 100, so she was like, she was born way long time ago, and she used to tell a story all the time of when she was a kid, maybe like 10 or 11. Her and her sister would sleep in the same bed because it's all they had room for. And every time they would wax the floors, they would have at night what sounded like a child running up to the waxed floor, jump and slide, and then slam into their dresser. And it would happen over and over again. And then at night, they said they could feel something. It felt like an animal or a child climb onto their bed and make like an indent at the bottom and just like settle and then disappear. Yikes. And it happened multiple times. It's crazy. It's cool.
It's such a little thing, but anything is anything is scary.
It is. Jesse, what'd you bring us this time around?
What? I went first.
Shit, did you go first? Yeah. Did I get lost in the ghosts and got confused that you went first?
This is what happens when you run more than one.
I can't.
This is what happens when you buy your printer ink at a fucking library, dude.
Right, yeah, the library. Right, that's right. The smuggling ring of library ink. Well, then I'm bringing you another reader story by Reddit user Camboggs titled, I Had a Teenage Doppelganger. He's new to the podcast, he says been loving every minute of it, and it's the best thing on Spotify right now. You know what?
Is that true?
I agree with you. It's true. That's what he
Rogan.
Thinks. I was a sophomore or junior in high school, and I was taking this girl on our first date at the mall. We were kids, and it was the late 80s, so yeah. So we're sitting on the bench in there talking. I should also probably mention that the girl that I was on a date with, I had known for a while as a friend. If not, she would have never believed me. But I was approached by 2 dime pieces. I love that. The language in this story is great, by the way.
2 dime pieces? Who is this guy?
Dime pieces who I had never seen before, yet knew my name, claiming that they met and talked to me at a party a couple of days earlier at a guy's house. At a guy's house I didn't know. What kind of vibes?
Jimmy C vibes.
Jimmy C vibes. Little Jimmy C vibes. Yo, can we please break and talk about all the digging everybody did about the Utopia vehicle and that it actually exists. It's in the state and it's the same make and model that was in the story. And that other people have come forward and have had other like experiences with it. That's so weird. I just want everybody to know that. Okay, anyway.
It's always a little exciting when the bullshit story has a true detail in it.
Yeah, one that can be tracked and shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so these two girls, these two dime pieces, right? That came up to me after a party that I wasn't at. In fact, they were quite adamant about it. Still to this day, I do not know who they were talking about. And fortunately, the girl I was with just grinned and chalked it up to that we were not officially dating yet when this supposedly happened. But I did have friends as witnesses that agreed I was not participating in the supposed party at the time that this was apparently going on. I mean, I partied in high school, but not that hard yet to where I would have lost track of my location. That was the story that still boggles my mind to this day. But still, there was another story that also happened in high school around the same age. We had a bank directly across from the high school about 200 yards or so away. I don't remember the name of it. It's not important, really. One day I was leaving school and an acquaintance we just knew each other, not really a friend, came up to me in the parking lot of the school and said, "Did you open the account over there across the street?" I looked at him and said, "What the hell are you talking about?" Now this is in the late 80s. I was into heavy metal, had a real long like Sebastian Bach type hair, and dressed primarily like Axl Rose. In my area of Columbus, Ohio, people into heavy metal music was nothing unusual. However, there were not a lot of us that our parents would let get away with that super long-haired look. I just got blessed with good parents. Most got blessed with mullets, especially extremely long bangs. But I was one of the few, and most just wore a rock and roll t-shirt, as I basically looked like I should have been in an album cover. I stood out a little, I guess is what I'm trying to get at, for the age and area. So anyway, this guy very adamantly once again insisted that what he saw was me walking into this bank, which at the time I would have never even thought about having a bank account, and claimed that the person walking in was wearing a shirt with my name on it even. That's kind of a weird detail.
Yeah. What?
It's just like Cam Boggs just written on the shirt.
In what context? Like, what do you mean?
It's just a label. I don't know. Which struck me as odd because in middle school, my mother had bought. Okay, so this is it. In middle school, my mother bought me a shirt which had my first name on it, but I didn't wear it for a few years by this time because one, it would not fit, and two, I kind of thought it was cheesy. So I only wore it a couple of times to make her happy with it. I can't imagine why this person would lie, as there was nothing to gain from what he was saying. But at the same time, I can't believe that he actually saw this. I've always heard in life that everyone has a twin, and I've seen it a few times, but nothing exactly, and never so close, especially not to ever pop up again. Yeah, we've all seen those Reddit posts of like, I found my twin at the baseball game, and it's two dudes or two girls who look relatively similar.
Right.
A little weird side note that my mother told me when she was pregnant. Now, granted, technology not being what it is today, back in 1971 and 1972, that the doctor swore up and down they heard 2 heartbeats in the womb. But I ended up being an only child, and they attributed that extra heartbeat sound to a heart murmur, which I supposedly later grew out of. I don't know. That can't happen. My brother had that. He had a heart murmur that we had to check in every single year until he was like 16. And then it was small enough where it was not detectable. I have no explanation for either one of these, but I don't know. Maybe holes in dimensions or somewhere along those theories are. Maybe I exist somewhere else at the same time. These are all great ideas, but once again, nothing can be proven. For the last story, just doing a little paranormal note. Sorry this is so long, but there used to be an old farmhouse by where my mother lived in Orient, Ohio, that was abandoned, and people called it the Johnson House just because that was the name of the last family of the who lived there or owned the property. The same what is this? Oh, same time era, young kids, first cars, sex, drugs, rock and roll. You know, the typical kid shit. However, at the time of this, we were sober. So they're basically saying they used the barn house to party as kids. This house was no stranger to being partied in by appearance, no windows, lots of graffiti, what have you. I don't believe we ever went in there before this because we wouldn't go until it was broad daylight, like noonish, because of all the rumors that this place was being haunted, a place of satanic ritual, you know, the good stuff. Just to add to the creepiness of the area, within 5 miles, there was an old graveyard that I've personally been to with tombstones there from our early 1800s or so. They were old that they didn't even have names on them anymore. And in an adjacent field to the cemetery where even I saw cairn stone piles there with my own eyes. Just a creepy little part of the countryside altogether. So anyways, we pull up in our cars in the broad daylight. It was like 6 to 8 of us approximately. I don't remember how many exactly. And we parked about 20 feet from the big barn-like shed area and about 40 feet away from the house. Everybody goes towards the shed first, except for me and my buddy of mine. We're still standing by the front car facing the shed barn and in the front of my car with just the backs, with our backs to the house. A lot of run-on sentences here. I'm doing my best. Bear with me.
It's all good.
There's nothing like paved driveway. It ended abruptly into the dirt from gravel. So we're basically just parked on like dirt with the dead field of grown up, whatever, grass, weeds, hay, looking like shit around everything. All of a sudden, my buddy and I feel this thud on the ground immediately behind us. And we turn around and see a brick rolling on the ground.
What?
We immediately look at the house, and the only thing on it that is brick is the chimney. Immediately, you would think that the falling brick bounces off the roof. But this is like 50 feet away. And the pitch of the roof, we would have made it so the brick would maybe drop 15 feet away from the house.
I wish I had just like a diagram of this.
Yeah, that'd be cool to have a picture of it.
Yeah.
We immediately called the rest of the group, which are still in the shed, close to no one is missing, and we all go in the house rather rapidly looking for somebody else on the property, but no one was around. Does it mean anything? I don't know, but it's just my experience, but I have heard in paranormal stories and whatnot of things being thrown. I really have no backstory on this place or anything like that, so just wanted to share my experiences of my lookalike and the ghost. Keep up the great work. We love the podcast. There you go. A boy with a doppelganger who opened a bank account for him. And then a ghost threw a brick.
That's just not something that you can just let lie.
Just like a good doppelganger opening a bank account for you.
You know what I mean? Like, if this happened to me, I would be like on the phone with the FBI. I would be like tracking this down. Like, I would be like, here's the footage. Like, I have the footage of the guy walking into the bank. If he went into a bank?
Yeah, there were cameras in the 80s in the bank, right? There should be.
Yes. Of course.
Yeah.
Like, a security camera is like, that's what, like, I feel like they were invented for banks.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's it for the Chill Minis, everybody. Thank you so much for the articles and the stories. We'll be back next week with the next episode. We're going to go away for a little while and go take our nap until the next episode is ready to be recorded.
Is that how we operate? We just go into hibernation until next time?
I'm like, what do you call him? The Winter Soldier.
Right.
Just for the Chilluminati pod, we're just gonna activate. Yeah.
Whenever I go to sleep, they just plug me right into like 8chan.
Just 8chan. I don't want. That's not where I want to be plugged into, man. If I'm going,
I
into
don't
slumber.
either. But it's the only place I've done an episode on every mystery that exists on the internet already. So I have to go deeper.
They're all done. You got all of them.
Yeah, I have to go deeper.
Yeah. Well, while you go mine 8chan for stories, we're going to go and do other things. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Bless.
We love you. Thank you for the support on Patreon, and we'll see you next week.
Bless.
Bye.